welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is projected to record a real GDP growth of 6.2% this year, the highest in the Caribbean after Guyana. This is according to a report released by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, on Tuesday in Morocco at the annual meetings of the World Bank and the IMD. Speaking on the report on radio today, Prime Minister Dr. Alf Gonsalves noted that this country's Minister of Finance, Camilla Gonsalves, and the Director of Planning, Ricardo Frederick, are attending the meetings in Morocco.
Projections by the IMF for 2023 for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that's for this year, economic growth is 6.2%, following upon their projection for last year, 5.5%, and a projection for next year, 5%. For the performance last year, the projections for this year, we are above the average for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The average is 4.7, and the only country in CARICOM which has a larger number than us is Guyana because of oil. And next year, again, Guyana will have more than us. We'll be 5%, that's the projection, and the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union average is 4%. And the only one which would be above us in the rest of the Caribbean, west of the English-speaking Caribbean, would be, well, Guyana and then Antigua. Antigua would be 5.4.
Prime Minister Gonsalves said it is also projected that this year cost of living is expected to see a decline. He said what has been reported by the IMF is not a bad report card for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The climate change devastation of our country. They ignore COVID. They ignore the volcanic eruptions and the periodic droughts. They ignore that we have to transition our economy from primarily a goods-based one to a service-based one, of which the education revolution played an important part, critical part. And tourism, in which the international airport played an important role and continues to play. All those things are ignored, in all this talk about their false hope dialogue now. Then the inflation, that is cost of living, this year it is projected to decline, and you're seeing the actual numbers, from 5.7 from last year to 4.4. And for next year it would be 2.4. So we are moving in the correct direction. And in line basically with what is happening in other OECS countries, and certainly less than places like Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago,
According to the IMF report, SVG's 6.2% growth for 2023 is second only to oil-rich Guyana with a 38.4% real GDP growth. In its publication entitled IMF World Economic Outlook Caribbean Focus, the IMF said in the Caribbean, tourism-dependent countries experienced a strong rebound in 2022, averaging over 9% GDP growth, and they are expected to grow by 3.2% in 2023 and 2.3% in 2024. The Global Funding Institution said the ECCCU averaged 9.9% growth in 2022, and it is projected to continue robust growth of 4% or more in both 2023 and 2024, noting also that economies of the Caribbean community exporters expanded rapidly in 2022 and are expected to continue to experience double-digit growth in 2023 and 2024. On the issue of inflation, the IMF report stated that inflation varies considerably across countries, but in most cases has slowed in 2023 from the higher rates of 2022, and it is projected to ease further in 2024. In 2023, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is projected to record a 5.4% growth, with inflation projected to be at 4.4% this year and 2.4% in 2024. 66 students will be receiving support from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines this year to assist with their university education. Speaking on radio this morning, Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saab said 26 students of these students will receive national scholarships for 5 years, each valued up to $570,000. 7 students will receive exhibition scholarships for 3 years, 4 special awards, and 29 bursaries. The Prime Minister noted that the number of awards which will be presented to students who sat the recent Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam CAPE and Associate Degree Program this year is 5 less than last year.
The 21 years is the maximum year for the national scholarship. But you'll have some people doing their associate degrees who will get the equivalent of what would be a CAPE national exhibition, right, but we give them special awards. Okay. There are persons who will get national exhibition who do the associate degree because they'll satisfy all the criteria, including the age one. And you sit in the exams at the requisite time and all the rest of it. And then 29 bursaries. The bursaries are $25,000 per annum. Okay? Now, for 3 years. So that's a total of 66. Last year, the total number amounted to 71. But there were only 21 national scholarships, and there are now 26. Okay. So, and there were more. Last year there were 17 national exhibitions, but now there are 7. So there are people who, at the top, people did better. What do you?
The Prime Minister explained how students are awarded with these scholarships, including national scholars.
You do points in accordance with the profiles. Each subject, you have the profiles, and the points are awarded. Points of 392 upwards, you get a national scholarship. 368 to 391 points is a national exhibition. And 343 to 367, I'm talking about the CAPEs, that's for the bursaries. Okay. But the point system of 392 upwards, that amounts to an average of 80%. 75, the national exhibition for the 368 to 391, that amounts to 75% to just under 80%. Okay. And for the bursaries, the point system would amount to an average of 70%, but under 75.
Meanwhile, 4 students were awarded the Mustique Charitable Trust MCT bursary at the University of the West Indies UWI Global Campus St. Vincent to assist with their studies, which begins from 2023 to 2024 academic year. The selected awardees included Orvicia Graham, BSc in Marketing, Juliet James, BET in Educational Leadership and Management, Jalicia Primus, BEd in Early Childhood Education and Family Services, and Leroy Walker, BSc in Sports Leadership and Management. At the handing over ceremony, Camille Larkham, UWI Global Campus Officer in Charge, reassured the awardees that they can excel in their programs once they invest enough effort and maintain a balance among all areas of their lives. She commended the MCT bursary as one of the best bursaries awarded at the UWI Global Campus since it covers 60% of academic fees, provides a laptop, and includes a mentorship program. Delia Malcolm, MCT Administration Director, reflected on the initiation of the bursary program since February 2010 and thanked the single anonymous donor who has funded the bursary since its inception. She spoke of the success of the program, which has seen 15 graduates obtaining first-class honors, 12 graduates obtaining second-class honors, and 1 graduate obtaining a certificate. In addition, she said the trust will continue to fund 15 awardees, which includes the 2023 awardees who are currently studying at the UWI Global Campus St. Vincent. The MCT bursaries are awarded annually for the academic year that begins August-September. All interested students are advised to contact the UWI Global Campus St. Vincent Administrative Office for queries regarding program information, application form, submission process, and deadline dates. In other news now, with the latest increase on the price of gasoline, President of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Winsbert Harry, is calling on the government to come to the assistance of fisherfolk across the country. Harry suggests that if the gas price continues to increase, it would affect the operation of fishing fleet and vessels and may cause an increase in fish price in the country. He further suggested that the government introduce a rebate system which could be of assistance to fisherfolk.
We are in desperate need to keep our small fleet afloat because of the hiking price of gasoline. Fisherfolks would not like to introduce or add more to the price of fish because persons will not be able to can afford the price of fish. So I'm asking on the government to come and have a discussion or meet with the National Fisherfolks. I invite the National Fisherfolks to the table where we could sit and have a conversation about how we can introduce a rebate system for fisherfolks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think this rebate system is very needed for the lifespan and for fishing operation in our small countries. Because if the price of gas continue in this direction, fisherfolks will have to close down their operation and move into different ways and means to see how they can support the family, because fisherfolks will not be able to fishing in a productive and on a daily basis.
Gasoline and diesel prices increased in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on October 2nd, 2023. The new prices were gazetted on September 29th in areas 1 to 4. Diesels retailed at $15.26, low sulfur diesel at $16.98, and gasoline at $17.06. The president of the National Fisherfolk Organization noted that for the last 2 years, omnibus operators and taxi drivers have benefited from fee increases due to the rising cost of fuel. However, fisherfolk have not been so lucky, as he outlined some of the challenges they continue to face.
Since the field expansion program was introduced, persons has been coming to me and asking me numerous questions and even looking to see how the national organization will guide them in terms of getting involved in the fleet expansion program. One of the things that was ironed out within the fleet expansion program, that there is no proper safe harbor around the length and breadth of this country to accommodate these bigger boats that fisher folks would like to move away from these small boats to bigger boats where they could spend more days and conduct the business in a profitable way. There is no safe harbor. There is no proper ice machine here that can load 5-6 boats. There is no way to do. There is no way to do maintenance. There is no way to do. There is no way to put the boat when the boat is not fishing. There is no way to put the boat if an incoming weather or disaster is passing through or tropical wave. So I'm asking on the authorities, the fisher folks as well need a fishing marina to develop the fleet expansion program.
Harry also reiterated the call for the government to come to the assistance of the fisher folk who were moved to Lomans Bay from Rose Place over a year ago.
And we are appealing again. It is going in over a year and 3 months since we was relocated to Lomans Bay. We are there without a washroom, not even a toilet that we can use for almost a year and 3 months. I noticed in the media that there was some monies that was supposed to give out to fisher folks in Calaqua to help some fisher folks in Shipping Bay and also to assist the fisher folks in Lomans Bay. The fisher folks in Calaqua was already received their piece of the cake, and I'm asking on the authorities. It is really getting out of hand in Lomans Bay. We are in desperate need of a washroom and a toilet. The place is it is not in a very healthy standard as I speak. Even when the rain come, the mudslide behind the bank come down on some of the rooms that we build in. So I'm pleading again, come to the assistance of the fisher folks in Lomans Bay.
The Ministry of Agriculture today hosted a breadfruit festival at the Dumbarton Agriculture Station under the theme Water is Life, Breeder for Food Security. The festival coincides with activities for World Food Day, which will be observed on Monday, October 16, 2023. Agriculture Officer Michael Gloucester said the objective of the Breadfruit Festival is to sensitize persons on how the breadfruit can be used to ensure food security.
A second challenge is the tree age. The age of trees that we have here in St. Vincent is very old. We did some work, a survey, and it said most of our trees were more than 20 years. So our trees are very old. Our other challenge that we did do little management of the trees. So we're not getting the maximum potential that we should get. We have high level of wastage. We have limited value addition and processing. A few people might be making chips and you get like flour, but we need to do some value addition. And we also have limited knowledge too in terms of breadfruit.
Gloucester said that moving forward, there is a need for more breadfruit festivals across the country. Pruning of large existing trees must be done in order for breadfruit trees to grow better.
We also need new orchard, new planting and commercial orchards. We don't have that in St. Vincent. We don't have a commercial breadfruit orchard. We don't have that. We just have a few trees here and there, somebody's backyard or as border planting. And we also need the breadfruit festival. We need to revitalize those, and it's a good thing now that we have this one. We have this one because a lot of people put the breadfruit to a lot of use, and a lot of opportunities are being. You have a lot of opportunities taking place, and also we need to do more promotion and awareness. We need to speak more about breadfruit. We need to have competition art competition. We need a lot of, a lot of more activity to promote breadfruit.
A wide variety of breadfruit dishes were on display at the Breadfruit Festival at the Dunbarton Agriculture Station. A National Day of Prayer is important as it raises the issues of prayers to the national level and also symbolizes a sensual Christian teaching of the power of prayers. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Stubs during a prayer rally held on Monday, October 9th at Heritage Square as part of the 44th anniversary of independence celebrations. The prayer rally was held under the theme Unity and Resilience.
Seventh-day Adventists have 52 Saturdays in the year. The rest of the Christian community have 52 Sundays in the year. That's 104. Then you have special service at Easter and Christmas. And the funerals, which used to be 1.5 hours and is now since COVID turned out to 4 and 5 hours, so plenty preaching going on. Why you need a day of prayer? The basic reason is that while persons go in their churches on Saturdays and Sundays, and while you have special services for Easter and Christmas, and the families and friends go at the time of funerals, the National Day of Prayer raises the issue of prayer to a national level, and those who follow the leadership of the church, I would expect that today at their various workplaces they would put aside some time for prayer.
Prime Minister Gonsalves further outlined that unlike other countries, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' constitution and laws gives Christians the right to have events such as a National Day of Prayer.
It's a serious document. So when we have a National Day of Prayer, it's about God. Naturally, it is also about religion and therefore church, and it's also about the state, the nation. There's a country which is nearby to us, a powerful country. What is happening here today cannot happen in the United States of America, because they have a constitution, their laws have an absolute separation between church and state. In fact, so separate that you see how they function is like they have a suicide pact in America. We have evolved the situation here. The church has its role, the state has its role, but we are not, there is no wall which is so impregnable that we can't reach across and understand and hold each other's hands under the suzerainty of Almighty God.
The Stubs Government School is hosting a week of activities to celebrate its 40th anniversary as an educational institution. The activities, which commenced on Sunday with a church service, are being held under the theme Gratitude, honoring our past, shaping our future for 40 years. In 1983, the Stubs Government Schools relocated from the board-structured school to its present location, offering primary education to students in the community and surrounding areas. As part of the activities, the school is highlighting past principals. One such principal is Haley Rogers, who shared her experience leading the educational institution.
Important historic milestone in my life, because I lived on the outskirts of Stubs for quite a long time, but never became integrated in the Stubs community. That was a chance for me to become integrated. And here I met wonderful people like Morinata and Veronica and Mrs. Ruben and all the others, Miss Richards and Miss Jack and Mrs. Dixon and Mr. Wills and Pompey and Benji I met all of those people at Stubs School, and we had a very, very grand time. Even Charles, I didn't know much about her, was acting for quite a while, and then I was appointed as principal. I was expecting to find opposition from Yvonne Charles, but that was not so. I got her full cooperation, and God blessed memory.
Rogers also shared what life has been like during her retirement.
Sports Day was special because everybody was involved. The community, teachers, everybody. I need to say too that before I got to Stubs School, Mrs. Richards does not know it, but I'm telling her now that we competed for places at common entrance. She taught the common entrance class, and I taught the common entrance class at Bible. She taught the one at Stubs. So every year I say, she's not beating me this year at all. So I work hard with the students. She would do the same thing. I don't know if you knew that I was trying to rival her. But each year, my will always beat Stubs.
Rogers used the opportunity to share a special message to the current teachers at the Stubs Government School.
I'm saying to all teachers, remember that you have children's future and the future of your country in your hands. And whatever you put into these children as they come to you at 5, when they leave you at 15 or 18 or whatever age, you should be transformed and transformed for better. And you can only do that by hard work and commitment to your job. I never worked for pay as such. Pay was involved, but I always worked with my conscience and my God. And that's why I've never accepted any trophy from anybody or any organization, because I work with my God and my conscience. And I said to the students, you have all the opportunities in the world now to make good of yourself. I didn't have much of a problem retiring. My going home was made easy because the Ministry of Education hired me after I retired to do reading projects. They hired me to do national exams. They hired me to do examinations, second tape and things like that. So up until 2018, I was actively involved in education. I am still involved now at a lesser level in that I help children to read and to do maths and things like that.
Rogers also taught at the Bayaboo, South Rivers, and Evesham Methodist schools. The week of activities for the 40th anniversary of the Stubs Government School will climax on Saturday with a dinner and award ceremony at the Paradise Beach Hotel.